appreciate you guys doing this.
Absolutely. Um, yeah. Just why are we live streaming?
Oh, I didn't mean to hit the button.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, cause is if there's a way for us to live stream to our members only. I don't know if there is. We're gonna
I don't
get
know.
started.
I didn't mean to live stream. My bad. It's Thursday. Today's not Wednesday.
Yeah, I was like, wait, why are we live streaming? Um,
I'm like all messed up. Like, oh.
no, you're not. It's okay. I just know that today is we're gonna get started in 1 minute, but today is the last day of the week for my kiddo's school. So tomorrow I don't have to get up
Oh,
at
nice.
5:30 in the morning.
Is it spring break for you guys next week?
Spring break.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours isn't until the first week of April, so
That makes sense because it's Easter. Uh,
yeah.
I like that better and it's more spring-like. But I'm just so grateful that I don't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning because I don't
Oh,
like doing that.
that sounds so nice.
I am so excited. She can't drive herself to school yet. She's only 14.
It's only a matter of time.
I know. Then the real worry begins, right?
Oh, I don't even want to think about that. Can't imagine. That's got to be a whole level of stress for sure.
I know. Cora, I think you've been through that before. I am not looking forward to it. Um,
Yeah, Corey's the
all right.
expert. We should have a TED Talk on parenting.
On,
I
on how
I
to
didn't know
how
I
to
had
parent.
anxiety attacks until my daughter started driving.
Oh no.
No joke.
It was it there was one episode we were driving down uh, the connector in Atlanta where 75 and 85 merged together going right through the city, and she was driving and I was about losing it in the back. There's two ways about it.
That is crazy.
She's a good driver. It's just it hit me that this child is driving through the worst traffic, one of the worst traffics in the country. So
Hot Lana. That's what I call that one. All right, we're gonna get started. You want to record, Miss Jess?
All right, here we go.
All right, so we're gonna talk today. We're gonna talk today about your senior transition blueprint and who you should partner with for your business of the day type deal. So Corey's on here, Corey Boldruff, one of our coaches, and myself, Felicia Saracino. And we're just going to partner together on this to give you guys some awesome info. Now, we all know that the silver tsunami is here. I always like to give a recap because it's important. The first wave is here with the peak move-in age at 80 plus in 2026. So this is the first wave. And the core problem is people are starting to realize that their homes are no longer really age and place appropriate for them. So are they doing some retrofits right now, right sizing to a smaller property, or making the move to independent living or assisted living right now, or memory care if needed? System of care. So our ecosystem of care, I have to move you guys around over here a little bit. Our ecosystem of care is you have your home. I always start over here, your home health and clinical, your elder law attorneys, your move managers, your hospital case managers type of a deal, and our community. So it's just kind of like a little ecosystem. And you could create what I call your own flywheel on this as well. And you're going to have a network of trusted experts that families engage with. And we've been talking about this with your bod, but how are you going to get these seniors moved in? That list that you have should be private. It shouldn't just be broadcasted out because you work really hard to get folks to work for you and jump for you when your clients need it. So we talk a little bit about the hospital case managers. They're not a really huge part of a referral system, but what is really important to know about your hospital case managers and this is where you need to have them on some sort of a list for you, is who are they referring to? Majority of them are referring to assisted livings or memory cares directly. And you need to know which ones those are so that you could partner with them. Do you see the logic behind that? And in my area in Southwest Florida, 2 hospital systems, both are giving a list of where you should look for assisted living. But the interesting thing is they're also partnered with a placement agent. So up in Lee County, they partner with X company, and NCH North is up in Collier County. I know exactly who they partner with and who they give those referrals to. So I need to make sure I could partner with that senior placement agent, and there's multiple already, so that when the time does need the home to get sold, they're thinking of me. So that is why this is on here for you, because you should know where they're referring to, because they're discharging on a daily basis. We've talked about this, I know, at nauseum. Your elder law attorney, super important. Estate planning, elder law attorney. There's an elder law attorney website if you need to find some new partners. And I always like to say, how many of these should you have? I have 3 that I partner with because all 3 charge a different rate for a trust and for basic durable power of attorney and advanced directives. So I have 3 options. And there's more than 3 in my area. There's probably about, 10. And I partner with 3 of them because I want them to be able to get some variety of cost based off of what their needs are. If it's asset protecting, if it's spend down planning, VA benefits, Medicaid, Medicare, power of attorney, and guardianship, they can get that cost with them. And I'm giving them 3 different prices that they get to choose from. And so it's important for them to have options. Logistic partners, the
Hey,
unstuck.
Felicia,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
When you were in as an executive director in the communities, did some of these partners that you're talking about call on you, or how did that go? I'm just curious.
So that's a
What
really
the
good.
executive directors and the district the sales managers understand. What do they
Yeah.
know, and who are they giving business to?
Here is the ecosystem of senior living from my experience of working in multiple communities in 2 different states. And I'll preference it by saying I did visit one of my communities where I was the ED this past week, and it has not changed. It's still the same way. If people came to me with a strategic meeting, it had to make sense for me to meet with them. I had way too many important tasks to deal with. If it was a move manager, I would immediately have it go to the sales director and have them vet them first, have them discuss what that looked like. And then the only way that I got involved was if we were going to offer something on our sales incentive, like $1,500 towards your move, $1,000 towards your move, that I needed to get involved, that I had to present to corporate for approval for an incentive. When it came time for a home care or a home health company, they would meet with me. Oh, I'd love to partner with you. That's great. I would pull in that director of nursing, and we would let the director of nursing talk. And then I would get pulled in either at the latter part or the second conversation as to what that's going to look like, branded, like co-branded marketing, like what was it really going to look like? As far as other partners and realtors, I did not meet with them. I did not have time. I had too many more important things on my plate, especially if the state was in your building for a survey, and customer service issues such as, the food supply didn't show up today. The wine didn't show up today. How are we going to get that? We had someone who missed their med pass. How are we going to rectify that? Reviewing notes, employee behavioral issue meetings that we had. So when you do call on these executive directors, I would hesitate to even talk to them until you have a partnership conversation with the sales team, the sales director. And then you're only bringing in that ED after you all have agreed that you're going to do some sort of a co-branding partnership marketing piece, promotional piece that needs to be approved. And then that person would come in, and you probably had 10, 15 minutes with them, and that was it. I hope that answers their question.
Yeah, the partnership arrangements, I really haven't I haven't brought that up in my discussions with some of the principals. I'm just curious what that looks like.
Well, the partnership agreements were, especially for real estate on the realtor side, was, am I providing a hurricane preparedness checklist that they're going to put into every move-in packet or every brochure?
Okay.
It needs blessing. But I'm going to talk about that first with the sales director to see if it's something they want, and then get the blessing from corporate or the ED.
So you can almost make monthly.
Yeah,
you can also make monthly teams and see if you can work something in. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it has to make sense for them, and it's just limited time that they have. And it was interesting. I was back in my old community visiting with them, and the ED was nowhere to be found. And I was like, "Hey, where is so and so?" And they were like, "Oh, they got issues happening today." So they had to go up to the corporate office, or there's always something that's happening, training that has to be done. So there's a lot on these EDs heads right now. So just be mindful of that. But when we start talking about when you're working with your logistical partners, and just getting back to this, the Unstuck It crew is like I call it. When you talk about senior move managers, every community kind of had a list of their favorites. So this is when you go back to the sales director and ask them who they use. Who do they use for senior move manager? Who are they using for home health and home care? And that is really important, because if they're not using one of your partners, you could ask them if they would like another meeting to introduce them to them. Maybe they had a bad story. This has happened a lot too, a bad experience that they're going to share with you. And the other thing is, if you are not in conversation with their current move manager, that's a perfect opportunity for you to get that door open so that you can get into contact with them and build that referral relationship with them. Because the senior move manager sometimes is the first person that goes into the home for a home visit. And the sales directors sometimes send them over to take a look at everything. So that's why the senior move manager is so important. I, on average, get between 10 to 15 referrals from one senior move manager annually. That's just one, and I partner with 3. So it's important for you to be able to partner with them. So I would definitely have 3 to 5, because depending on how many senior living communities you are working with, they're probably gonna use one of those. The house cleaners, they are the early warning systems. So if you don't have a great house cleaner on your bod, it's important for you to find one that's working in different areas and different communities, because they know what's going on in that house better than anyone else. And I do get about a handful of referrals every year from my house cleaner. And it's also great to have them on your bod, because you're going to need to clean that house after they move out, because I don't vacuum clients' houses, especially not now. And they're going to know, and they're going to notice changes such as there's no food in the cabinets. There's medications all over the place. So they're going to be that early warning trigger system for you. And they help and they reach out to families. We've talked about Medicare and Medicaid, and I think these are great partners to have, at least one of each of them, because when someone moves from state to state, they need to re-register with the state's Medicare supplier. They're also great for educational purposes for you to do a Medicare 101 on what are the new changes that are coming up for open enrollment. And they're also great to review when they move into senior living or they're moving into a skilled nursing facility. Does that skilled nursing facility take their Part B insurance, not Part B insurance, or secondary insurance, sorry. I know that certain
Supplemental.
Yes, they're supplementals. Certain SNFs by me are no longer taking Humana right now. They're no longer taking Aetna. And that is a huge factor when that senior needs to go in for rehab right now because, they're iffy on Blue Cross. And so what are they taking? And it's great to kind of know that as a resource for yourself. The Advantage plans aren't really accepted in a lot of our SNFs down here. So these are things for you to familiarize yourself. Not only do I like to familiarize myself with it, but I use it to my advantage for my family members. It's great things to learn. And then Medicaid is huge because there's ways for you to help your client if one partner needs long-term care bed in a skilled nursing facility, and then the other senior needs to be, the other spouse needs to be in independent living. How are we basing that income for them? How are we separating that out so that the well partner is going to have money for their long-term care needs? So Medicaid specialists are huge as well. It's not just when we're out of money and we have to go on state funds, So I like to have one of each of these because typically they're not together. You don't really see too many Medicare and Medicaid specialists, so that is important. Down here, we have a program called SHIP. David, have you used SHIP yet? Because it's a Florida statewide program.
I know of it, but I haven't used it.
I know a couple of our SHIP counselors, and the reason why SHIP is on here is because it is a state-funded way to help buyers get a down payment as a grant from the state of Florida so that they could put down 10, 20, 30%. They'll give up to 30% of a down payment if you qualify. And so that's a great tool if you're trying to get more buyers into your sellers and your listings that aren't moving. So, this condo is approved by SHIP. Those are things that are state specific, but if you have a program that helps towards down payment assistance programs, finding out that information could be vital to help you get more buyers into that property and ultimately selling it for your senior who needs the care.
Yeah, I always referred to it as down payment assistance, and
Yes.
the SHIP term is we
No one
haven't used it in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
it's not the way it's used, but I know what you're saying now. Okay.
And post-tour follow-up, this is just a review. Handwritten note goes a long way. You could mail it, you could drop it off. Objection call 48 hours later. You want to make sure that you're staying in contact with that sales director, right? And then by day 7, having some creative follow-up, a value point. Hey, I wanted to touch base with your senior move manager that you had mentioned. Is there any way we could either do a lunch together, coffee, or email intro for that, depending on what their schedule is, if you know it? So these are just ways to try and keep in touch with them immediately so they don't forget about you. I am going to bring up and I thought it was in here, but it's not. Funeral home directors are great. I got 9 referrals in the past month and a half from my funeral home director. And they are great referral sources for you to partner with. Everyone who moves into senior living needs to have an end of life plan. And that equates to what funeral home are you partnered with locally? A lot of our folks that live down here might have a burial plot up in Minnesota, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. And that's great. And we say, oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you have that in place. What transportation mode did you set up? Because you need a permit to put a casket on a plane, and you need a certified funeral home company to deliver that over. They need to get a certificate for it, a permit. Sorry, they need to get a permit for that to go on a plane. And so you need to let them know that they could pre-buy that as well with a local funeral home that can partner with their funeral home up there. So if they're part of a Dignity funeral home, they're nationwide, they have a reciprocal partnership agreement already in play with that. But these are things that I wish everyone knew, and I love to share because no one talks about this, right? Just like no one talks about how to get on Social Security. That's another great webinar, by the way. Technology with empathy. So another way that you can partner with another referral partner is who in your area is doing smart home adaptability. So like an AI fall detection, they now have things that go into the lights, and you put them in the light in the kitchen and they can detect a fall and contact emergency services for you. There are so many new alert, smart safety features that it is amazing. It's a business within itself. And there's got to be someone in your market who does that, because we have someone that's in our market and he's doing a phenomenal job for our seniors.
I just had one a tour to community, and they provide that as an added service, and it this big chart up that they give everybody kind of in a plastic stand with all the Alexa commands. And it's actually kind of cool, and it's very inexpensive. It's probably like $20 a month or something. So yeah.
It is, and they even have toilets that can detect a UTI. It's nuts. I mean, you can go down a whole rabbit hole on this. But they do have remote health monitoring, and it's a biosensor that not only does it track heart rate, sleep, hydration, mobility trends, it could tell them if they're getting a fever, if their temperature goes up, and it alerts the nursing staff, and the nursing staff can go and see them to see how they're feeling. It's insane what's going on in senior living right now. And a lot of your senior living companies are really getting up to date on this. So it's awesome that you're able, David, to find that out, because I love this piece. Love it, love it, love it. And then family engagement portals. There's those Alexas, those Echoes that you can talk to someone on. It's so easy for a senior to use. And they can share, they could FaceTime, photo sharing. And then also there's family engagement portals from senior living communities where they're sharing some real-time updates and photo sharing and any clinical notes that are happening with that loved one, especially for families that don't live nearby. So there's a lot of different things that are happening, and it's great to ask your senior living communities about them. I always like to try and do some case studies. So this is just a case study, and we talk about the crisis, the solution, and the result. And you could see when we talk about this, how many partners you could actually pull in to help. So Mrs. Smith is 83. She experienced a fall at home. Her daughter lives 2 states away, discovered the home was unsafe, clutter everywhere, medications mismanaged, and bills unpaid for a month. The family had no plans and no idea to start. I mean, that's a whole host of things right now. And The solution is they started the process, before the solution with the crisis, they started the process with this senior placement. Senior placement brought me in. I was able to go and meet with them and say, okay, well, we need to clear this clutter out because there was a lot of clutter. So the senior move manager cleared and staged the home within 5 days. In the meantime, the elder law partner was brought in, and they identified some untapped VA benefits that covered 60% of Mrs. Smith's monthly care cost. Now, remember, if it is a widow of a veteran, that widow still will get benefits. They just need that DD 214 form. So that's DD, David, 214 form for the deceased veteran, or if the veteran is alive. And they could look at that form and coordinate every detail for what the VA will help with and start applying for those benefits, okay? And those benefits are anywhere between a 3 to 6 month lead time to get approval, but they do backdate it and services until, so they will get paid for when that was officially filled out. So if it was filled out in May, but it didn't get approved in December, they will pay back all of that for you. So that's huge for families, huge, huge relief. So the result was Mrs. Smith moved into her new home within 10 days of first contact. Her daughter returned home with lots of peace of mind, and the family continues to refer friends and family to our team because the crisis was averted and a community of advocates and heart-centric service individuals came in to help. So we do this, and I've been in this industry for a long time, same with Jessica. I mean, Jessica, I think you've probably moved people in as soon as 3 days from first contact. And there was times where I'm sure you could tell stories of the hospital said they have to get discharged today, and you put them in your model, right? And
Yep.
you're like, no problem, we'll take them. And we would put them in the model apartment, and then the family and the senior moves managers and the sales directors would work behind the scenes to go into the home to get their stuff and bring it in and transition them from the model into their new room. I'm sure you have had that happen plenty of times, right?
Oh, yes. Yep. My administrator was always happy, but very stressed at the same time. Got to make it happen.
And you've never laid eyes on that person, and you don't know if they're a fall risk, but you're taking them anyways.
Nope, the check cleared. We were good to go.
That's it. Because your job is to fill those heads in beds.
Yes, yes.
And so there's a lot of things that happen sometimes at the speed of light. And you'll be amazed at how these care partners can all come together to make sure that it's a safe discharge for that senior. It's just amazing. All right, so we always have a conversation on how we support your business, but it is a two-way referral system. You always have to read them their rules of engagement. We want to be able to refer to them. We want to be able to have them refer to us. One of the things that I want everyone to keep in mind is I've been using this for the past 5 years since I met Paul. I have my top 3 questions to ask every client if they need X partner. So if they need a CPA, I know my top 3 client questions to ask so that when I go back to that CPA to say, I have Mrs. Smith for you, here are the 3 answers to the 3 questions you have. They know exactly how to help that person. And it should come from that referral partner. And you should have 3 questions that you want them to answer as well, or ask questions as well to get answers for you. So we have all of these folks within our ecosystem. You can call it your 20 is plenty. And you can have all of these folks partnered up with you. I like to keep them on a referral tracker, which I know you all have access to. I like to make sure that I know when's the last time I talked to them, who referred them to me, how do we track this, when are my pop-bys coming? And we make sure that we have a nice little closed loop. Now, all the time, are they going to have a real estate referral for you? Probably not. But you might need to be put in contact with a foreclosure, a bankruptcy attorney, or someone who could help you as a divorce attorney, and ask them who on your badge you're missing and see if they can put you in contact with them. Or maybe they have a new partner that you never thought of, like a smart home watch type of a service, a techie service, so ask them who's on their board of directors, and then how you can simplify that process to make sure that you're giving all of your clients' needs the most that they can. So I always love to give them something. I always love to have a handout for them, QR codes at the bottom of things. So if you're doing coffee meetings, your call to actions and next steps should be, I'm meeting, I'd love to meet you for coffee. I meet on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. for coffee. Does that work for you? If it does, great. And that's when you're going. If you're only doing Zoom meetings, you give them 3 options for Zooms. And you should have some sort of a partner toolkit that you're creating. And we've talked about guides before as well, like a checklist guide. I have like a red flags one, transition checklist. It's stuff that clients can use and they can give as a resource guide with your information in it. These are great tools to have, especially at law offices, And you always want to make sure that you open the floor for questions. What challenges are your clients facing right now? How can we solve them? What's their pain point that they're having? And then making sure that you have either your rack cards or some sort of a handout for them, and talk to them about co-marketing. Co-branded marketing is huge. So that is what, I'm going to stop my screen share. That's what I have today for you. Did you find that helpful, David and Cherie? I got you my popcorn.
Oh yeah, I picked up some nuggets like I usually do, and I'm kind of expanding. I used to keep things really simple, and sometimes this is there are more pieces to this than I originally thought, and more contacts and more sharing and more connections. So it's a big endeavor. I think that's why we have to specialize in it, because it can be pretty complicated for some.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's a lot more than just we're going in to meet with seniors and helping them declutter, downsize. It's a whole ecosystem of folks who are going to be able to help.
Do you find the move managers that you've met with, now you've been down there a number of years, so they know, like, and trust you, but breaking in and getting a move manager to consider you, what are the challenges there?
I don't have any issues with breaking in with senior move managers. I don't at all. I will say that there's a couple of new ones in town, and I let the new ones, the ones that are brand spanking new, I give them like 6 months of they got to work their kinks out. If you have a strong intro from your sales director or from another partner,
That's better.
You should have no issue.
Yeah.
It's up to you to convert them and close them. And if you're providing them with all the benefits and how you can partner together, then you're okay. I also do a ton of presentations with my senior move manager. And I talk about the real estate side and they talk about the move management side, and we work cohesively together. And we have we do
in a
really
family
well.
setting or in a seminar setting?
Seminar, senior living.
Okay.
I also bring my senior move manager with me on certain listing appointments. If I'm going for a second appointment and I know they could be used, I bring them in and say, hey, I'm going back to go see Betty Sue's house. It's a hot mess. Do you want to come with me so you can see for firsthand, and I'll get permission. I always get permission first to bring her. And then, we come in together as we're a cohesive team. It works really well.
Thank you, Felicia. I came in very, very late, so I'm looking forward to seeing the replay.
That's all right. It's fun. And Corey's on here too. I don't know, Corey, if you have any other. I'm sorry, I'm starving. I'm eating. I've been on calls like back to back.
We don't care. We don't care. Have fun.
Yeah, it's too funny, but not funny. So Corey, do you have anything?
Yeah, I think it was great, and I think that's really trying to get into, especially for the first intro to building relationships and making your partnerships, is just how expansive it can be. And really, you got to look at, there's some people that you're going to build relationships with that are your resource for your clients, and there are some that are going to be a referral to your business. I think more one-sided than another. 9 referrals from her funeral director. I don't know how many people you've actually referred to the funeral director. So I think just knowing that part of it, and knowing you're building a business. So even if it takes 3 to 5 years to build your business, this is something that could feed your business and your family, and for years to come. I mean, I just got two referrals from CCRC that I've been working with for probably 3 years, and they've referred me a couple people, but all of a sudden it feels like, okay, now we're getting it. So 2 in 1 week. So I think that, and then I categorize mine from family of companies, my power team of 5, and my board of directors. And I think that's probably the only thing I would add. Yeah.
And just to let everyone know, it is really easy for me to refer a funeral home director, because I let them know, this is the list of things that senior living is going to ask from you. And I go down and I start with power of attorney, advanced directives. What are your final arrangements? And they, I already have that done. It's in Michigan. Oh, great. How are you getting there? Because that cost, I think it's about $1,200 or $1,300. That's pure cost for them that they get very good profit margins on, and they love those. And so my funeral home directors keep them coming, because they make a lot of money off of that in their profit mind, right? But that is how I get them and go, oh, great, I have a great partner who can help you with that, because you're going to have to get from point A to point B. And then I always make a joke out of it. I know this sounds so morbid, but we got to get you there. How are we going to do that? And then they laugh, I try and make a joke out of it. I'm like, I hate talking about this stuff. It gives me anxiety at night. And I'm like, but we got to, because they're going to ask. So I want you to be prepared before your move-in day. You have to do your move-in paperwork.
I question on that, because we just ran into something. Do most of the senior communities require prepaid funeral arrangements, or they do? Okay, so that's kind of a standard. All right, we ran into that with my mother-in-law, and that's a new thing I hadn't heard about.
Yep, they do. They require it. It's part of your move-in paperwork, and it's really, really important, because unfortunately, they call it expire. When you expire in senior living, they need that body gone. And it sounds so terrible, I know. But when you're losing 2 or 3 people a month, sometimes, because it depends on the longevity of the building. On my first ED job, it was 19 years old. So those residents are starting to come of age where they were passing away. And they want them gone. And the only way to have them out, because, first off, it's very traumatizing to the staff and to the residents that live nearby, because news travels. The first company that I worked for was called Brandywine, and they used to call it the Brandy Vine, because it would be like, like down the hallway. And they wanted it out of sight, out of mind. So they want that picked up and gone within an hour or two. The family comes in to say their goodbyes and they want it out. And so if they don't have anyone, now they got to get permission from the family to have XYZ funeral home come and pick them up. And then they have to get them out. And the senior living community doesn't want the responsibility of, you pick the most expensive one in town, I'm not paying for this. It's a liability thing.
Good to know.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. The only thing I will say is that visiting the senior living community the other day that I used to manage, I was like, I give you guys a lot of credit because it's a lot of work. And I'm like, I'll stick with my real estate any day in my listings that haven't sold. I'm like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving pieces.
Your listings are sitting there as well?
Ever since this Iran war happened, it's like everything's going like this.
Okay.
Yep, this week. And people have pulled back their offers. So we'll see where it goes. Everything's sitting here.
I've got to run, and I
Me too.
truly appreciate both of your efforts on this. It's been incredibly helpful. Okay?
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you. Thank you all. Corey, I'll talk to you soon. Jess, thank you. Bye, Sherry. Bye, David. I'll talk to you all